Welcome to another episode of No Shifts Given. Today we'll get through some more questions that have been sent through, but for now we're going to see what we've been up to ourselves. What have you been doing this week to help yourself?
So I have made a pact with myself that I'm going to start trying new things, okay? And brace yourself for this because it's not a new food. I went fire breathing.
You said you were going to do that. I forgot about that.
I wanted to do this. So, as you know, I went to Thailand not long ago and I was watching the fire show on the beach and they were doing all this and I just turned around and said, I'm going to do that. And I did. So I booked in. I drove to Leicester on my own and I'm not going to lie, I was really nervous, really scary. Didn't know what I was expecting, didn't even know what to wear. I was having a right man. And then I thought, we're just going to, just try it out. Straight in, pop it on your tongue. I was like, and you know what it's like? I'll be honest with you. When you're starving and you have some noodles that's a little bit hot or some food and they burn your tongue, that's exactly what it was like. I was going, that's what I was doing. But it is so good. It was so much fun. And then right at the end, they were like, does anyone want to actually breathe fire?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. I said, yeah, go on then. But the disclaimer was huge. She was like, if you swallow this, you are going to hospital. So that put the edge on it a little bit. But I did it. Oh, and I definitely...
The videos felt really good, actually.
It was so scary and I was so scared and I was so just out of my comfort zone completely. But afterwards, I just felt great. Like, I just thought, did that?
New hobby? New job?
No. Imagine that at the birthday. Anyone got a light out? 1 minute. But it was so good. Yeah, I loved it. And what have you been up to?
You've probably seen on stories, but I've been going to the gym. Yes, I know. It's a love-hate relationship. I get it. I get when people... She's trying to give me motivation when I'm lying on the floor dying in paid, just feel I'm going to have a heart attack, and she give me all this motivation. We're 1% better, we're better still, to be honest. And look, I know how my clients feel when I'm saying... We have to push through the hard stuff. We have to do difficult. We have to do... I'm like, thinking, I don't care. But that took me back to I had a mental battle. So I'd done a few sessions and last week I had a bit of a difficult day. Had some difficult conversations and did a few different things. Always comes up, goes on. But I then had the gym. So I was mentally already not there. But I thought, I'm going. I paid for a course. I'm going to turn up. So I went in. It was one of the hardest. I find it hard anyway, but it's one of the hardest things to do. And I thought, in my head, it took me back to the very first time I had Cambo. And I went back, I hadn't been doing that for a long time, where I had internal dialogue of saying, so now I'm just tell her, basically, forget it. I'm going, I paid for this. I can get up. She tells me to do one more. I'm going to tell her no. If I get up and walk out, I'll go, I don't care. Like, I know who I am. I don't want to be doing this. But to so much work. I can just go out and get in the car, and I thought, no, you're being a brat. Like, you paid, you're meant to be in here. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I can keep looking at all these people. I'm not going to look any different. It's a health lifestyle. So how am I meant to get to a healthy lifestyle if I don't get through? And I always say to people in my room, it gets difficult for me, it gets better. So fair play to her. She pushed me through. She kept me motivated, but it was very difficult. So I get it. People always think that you're in a good, or they look at us doing these and think you've got it all together, or you do. Yeah, we might have some of the bits that you're struggling with together, but in general, and we still get them in the things. That is my comfort zone, and I don't know why, but it's if I start getting told things to do, I'm off.
That's you struggle with that, don't you?
I really struggle.
Don't tell me.
And I don't really need to be here. What are you going to think if I leave? So it's like I don't care. So all that's out the window. But I made myself stay. I was very proud. I pushed through. And I went back. So that was Friday. And then I went back. Was it Friday? No, it wasn't. It was Wednesday, I think. And then I went back Sunday. And I had a great session.
Sunday, I'm proud of you. Do you feel proud of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're scared and you do it. And you argue with yourself. Just go. Just don't do it. Because I was driving there going, do I really want to do this? Do I have to do this? And I was thinking, what are the reasons you want to do it? But that voice in your head, that comes up all the time.
There's no reason why you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like, so people will get that.
It's your insecurity. And that voice is literally negative. And if you hear it, try and switch it off.
Yeah.
But I've been watching your videos and I take my hat off to you. Honestly, you are smashing it.
So let's see how everyone else has been feeling this week. I'm in a relationship that looks perfect from the outside, but deep down, I don't feel happy anymore. confused, to be honest. I keep telling myself I should be grateful, but something just doesn't feel right. How do I know if it's something I need to work on or something I need to walk away from?
Ooh.
We can only talk from ourselves because
Yeah.
we don't know the full situation, do we? But
how long they've been together, what they've been through, what's brought them to this moment. But people always do one thing that just struck that they always go time. So that like change anything. But whether you've been with someone 6 months, 6 years, it makes no difference. Because if you're not happy and it's not working, I don't want to say go, because that's not
because we
always
can be
the
avoiding
answer.
some of the stuff. Some of it is maybe we are not dealing with some of our stuff to make some of the
Absolutely.
stuff worse. So it is a bit of a difficult one without knowing background of it.
Yeah, or the context or what's brought them to this point. But you've got to be, if this is truthful now, because if you're not happy, you've got to ask yourself why. Is it something they're doing? I mean, if you're with someone that's constantly making you sad, that's obviously not healthy. But if it could be something internal that,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people as well, I mean, I don't know how fresh this is, but this is coming up. I'm having this conversation quite a lot with people that they get into a relationship and everything at the beginning, the honeymoon period is great. And then things start changing because feelings start coming, deeper feelings, going through all of this. But the thing is, when you're at a certain point, you start to feel safe. And that's where things start to go. And especially if you've been through negative relationships before.
Well, things can be masked for a long time, but the mask can't always stay up.
No, absolutely not. But when you start to feel safe, you try and self-sabotage a little bit, I think.
There's two sides.
Yeah, there's two sides, and obviously you would need more context on the reasons why. So if this person wants to write in again anonymously and give us a little bit more context to help them even further, then absolutely do that. But we can only go off what's here at the moment. But there's lots of different ways around it. It could be a bit of self-sabotage, feeling things are going a little bit too good. And I'm happy and I feel relaxed in chaos, then I'm going to try and cause problems.
Yeah.
That's a massive one. And then the other one could be them. You've got to know.
Could be long term as well.
Yeah, it could be long term. Boring. I mean, I thought, I'm so boring shouting that out. But it's not all going to be every single day perfect. But these times, the hard times, are what make the foundations of security in a relationship. You've got to go through the shit to really appreciate when it is good. It's not always going to be perfect.
It's very cliche, and I remember people saying it to me years ago, and I think, well, I'll do that anyway. Communication.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't mean communication when the bin's full and the lid flies off. It's communication of, I didn't quite like that today, or how you did that. How they perceive that is not my issue. Your thing is being able to say what you need to say. If you as a person can't speak how you should speak, you need to be questioning that as well. If we, as humans, it's natural, we fear the reaction. You will only know the reaction when it's done.
Yeah.
So that will give you a guidance of where you need to be. But some people are, I've been there, I've had these conversations, and the other person was completely oblivious to how you were feeling because you've built that up in your mind and nothing's been said. And the only time you say it is when the bin lid's come off. So then it's not a conversation. It's a row. It's not a good position to be in. It's you're both frightened and you're not getting your point across, and then you potentially are the bad person now because you've lost vision of everything else that's going on. That is from experience. So you can talk and I'll get, and they're not going to listen. Answer your own question then of what's just coming through, because things need to change, or we're at this point, or we need to have this conversation. At least you know you've tried or you had that conversation. If someone doesn't respect enough, I think, to listen, start questioning where you are. And it's not that you don't love that person or fall out, it's just we're here once in this time. And people will say, oh, but I have to do that for them. You're here once too, as much as they're here once.
It's their life. That's what people think. You need to do this for me, you need to do that. But no. That's your life. That's their life. You choose to live together.
It doesn't mean you've always been bad.
Yeah, never. It just...
Some people are meant to stay together and things are meant to work for as long as, and some things are meant to be short and sweet, and we learn through them. And that's in loads of scenarios. So it is hard without a lot more detail, but the main thing I would say is don't lose yourself. Every time you want to say something, think, are you able to say it?
Yeah.
That doesn't always come down to them. That is sometimes programmed from a young age that you do not want to talk out. But that's where I'd ask people to stop. Are you really voicing what you need? I get people in, quite common, and I say, you need to talk. I'm quite easy with saying what I need to say. No, not losing your stuff or putting someone down. I mean, sitting down and saying deep inside, that emotion's really hit me, or you're really undervalued.
Language and tone. People
Not
just think of saying
coming out and saying you're a complete, or you're this, or you're that, or is sitting in the nitty gritty of how they are actually affecting you. And people can't do it.
Yeah.
It's one of my weak points, but much better than it was. And we're not all perfect, but it is when people say communication isn't yelling what you want and demanding, it's sitting and working out how it works on both sides. Because who are you to tell them is a famous one, but who are they to tell you? And we have to meet in the middle. And that's what I would say.
I completely agree. But I think the first thing that they should do is have that difficult conversation, and then that's their first step. Because where that leads,
Cards on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. The person might, go, best form of apology is a change behaviour. I love that saying, and I stick by it. If someone loves you and they want you and they know they're hurting you after that conversation and they still don't do anything about it, that's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard, but you can't run away from it when it's in front of you.
You can't find you pleasing everyone else.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so you have to make that decision, who comes first, you or them.
You get one life. I feel like every time I make progress in my life, something happens and I end up back 2 steps. How do I know if I'm on the right path for myself?
Is it fulfilling you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel aligned? And what I mean aligned is you don't sit dreading going to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Start really dissecting things into little pieces. And then see what's holding you back and what's making you go forward. Because are you taking 2 steps back because you've started coming off the path, and you've given in to someone else or trying to fulfill someone else first? Then you will be diverted. Or is it you're coming back? Some deeper work's needed for this, and sometimes, isn't it? Because we will always go back to default. Our default has taken years, right back from before 7. So you're now doing 7 weeks in, 7 months in, 2 years in. Your default's already outweighing the work that you're putting in. So subconsciously you'll default back to what you need to do. So just be conscious, I think, of why you're going back 2 steps. Because if we were always putting ourselves first, we wouldn't be going backwards.
Yeah. Completely agree, yeah.
Absolutely. I know I can be a bit straight to the point and harsh.
Yeah, but that's the whole. But just people are asking a direct question. They want a direct answer. You could always put roses on it and make it sound better than it is, and it'll be okay. It's not. You got to do the work. Like, literally, I'm getting redirection. Not every step back is a step back.
Yes,
that's what I mean. You have to really look at that. It could just be a redirection for a different way to go, and it can be really frustrating. I've done all this work and nothing's doing. I'm not getting there, and in that mindset, nothing's going to come from it.
I had actually reflecting on that the other day. Some of my biggest bombs in life, what we call them, were the biggest redirections that I have had. Massive. There's times when I've looked back and I've been homeless. Lost my car. What else? There was 3-4 things in, not short, like as in months, but when I looked, you'd think, oh, is this all life? Or like, you'd be one of them. It always happens to me, and if it never goes good, everything's happening that way. When I had a big car crash. So when I look back now,
just throw that in.
I was left on my own with 2 kids as well. So it's like, when I look back now, that was my biggest wake up.
Yeah.
That is like, it was the best time. If I look back now, it was my hardest time, but it was my best. From that time, been homeless twice. From that time, I got a council house, and I bought that council house. That allowed me to live in the house and renovate the house I'm doing now. So let's divert it back. I couldn't see that path at that time.
Of course,
but where I was, it wouldn't have happened if that point didn't happen there. The car situation I can laugh about now. I had to sell my car to be able to move and afford to go into the house, so the kids at the point could have what they needed. And then that car, I managed to work my way back up, and then it blew up. So I ended up in a Seat Me, and we still laugh about it now. It was one of the lowest times of my life. I see them on the motorway, no offence to people who are in them, but don't ever forget where you come from. Yeah, and that was a reality check of slamming myself on the floor and being like, okay, I've always had quite nice things, been okay, and that was a reality check. Now, if you gave me that, I would have looked at it different. I signed that paperwork, crying my eyes out. Yeah. There was a woman thinking, this girl signing for the car here, absolutely bawling. I wasn't happy. Yeah. And my dad had to give me a few words to say, listen, it's life, get on with it, it's what you've got. Absolutely. So it's them moments, or when I look back, and then from that I had a car accident when I did work up to another car, that got me this shot. So the payout took 4 and a bit years, and from that, this is where I ended up with house healing. So we have to really navigate back to some of the darkest times that we have to get faced with, to realise. That day I had that car accident, I was on the way to sign a lease for a big machine to start a brand new business, and I didn't get there because I wasn't meant to be doing that business. So we have to redirect, and I would have had that debt for a long, long time. So we have to look back at some of the darker, biggest things that have shifted us and humbled us, basically, to realise, I know you feel like you're sinking and you sat on that floor, and I've had bad thoughts in them times. But when you look back now, all I can say is I promise you grow from them things. Just, there is light at the tunnel. Just keep going and use these platforms and use the people that you need, just to get you through them difficult times.
Because when you're at the lowest point, there's only one way up. I know that, again, another cliche, but it's so true.
And I know you don't see that at that time.
No, because everything just snowballs, doesn't it? You always find as well, like, people say, well, it comes in threes. But that can be, 1, your mindset, 2, your vibration, you're looking for it. Or 3, it could just be this part of your life, because they're clearing out the rubbish to make something better. And you just don't know it yet. But when you look back, that you have done, you're like, wow, I'm grateful. The lowest part of my life was actually the best time of my life, because without that, you wouldn't be who you are today. You wouldn't be able to speak on the things you're speaking. You wouldn't be able to help other people. The lessons you get taught, I believe, as much as it's difficult at the time, they are for the greater. And that's just, but obviously, when you're going through it, you haven't got food in the cupboards, or you're struggling, you're not going to keep going to yourself, oh, well, we can't eat tonight, but it's all for the greater good, because that takes a lot. That's it.
But look at what you're doing. Are you in the job you want to be? Are you doing the fulfillment? Because it all switches. And we do have a choice. And that's the day when everything stopped for me, and I thought, this
can't do anymore.
Can't do anymore.
But without that happening, and that wind being taken out your sails, you would probably still carried on. Oh, just carry on with that, or just do that again. It's not as bad as it was last week, or it had to be, because if I believe as well, you get sent lessons, okay? Something will happen and I'll be like, that's a bit shitty, or that's not the best, but you ignore it and you carry on. You don't change anything. If you get a bigger lesson, okay, that's a bit much, but we'll just carry on anyway. And then unfortunately it's taken off, and you're like, well, that was crazy. Why did it have to go to extremes? Because the thing is, you wasn't listening. So you have to pay attention. If something isn't working or making you feel bad, I know it's easier than done, but just try and change it. Little small steps. Have a look at the bigger picture, and see what you can do. What can you control? And then that's all you can.
We'll all have to start somewhere, and we're not expecting you to jump from one point straight to another.
I can't seem to put my phone down, even when I know I should rest. I just keep scrolling. I think it's because my brain's overstimulated and a bit anxious. My mind never feels quiet.
Boundaries. That's the first word that comes to me. I still do it, because we think business is on the phone now and we have an excuse. So I need to be on the phone either. Set times, have boundaries. They are a must, and they are a must not. If you are dedicating that time, because on the other hand, if I was the person with this other person when they're on the phone, or you're meant to be doing something, they're on there, where's your respect for that person? So it works both ways in that, but it's the boundaries. You still have a choice. You have a choice when you pick that up. You may get freedom from you think from a busy mind scrolling because you're filling it with something else, or you're scrolling through but all you're doing is diverting it to something else. Sometimes we don't know how to switch that mind off, so we're looking for something different. And
ask yourself why, what are you escaping from?
Yeah.
Because if your life is so chaotic and hectic that you've got to stay awake all night just to have a little bit of rest, why? Look at it. What are you avoiding? Yeah, what are you doing? Because I mean, I do it. I doom scrolling definitely, but that's 9 times out of 10 I do that when I've had a hectic day.
That's what I mean. You think you're soothing yourself, but maybe choosing different options. But it's not. We're all human, and I try and tell this everyone on these journeys that we are human, and we're scroll, but then go, what should you be doing? Is this bringing you anything? No, we're not. We should be doing that, and then swap it for something else. It's when you realise that you can change it. It's when you can't. When you don't realise that you can't change it. So if you know you're doing it, we need to also be mindful. And people, because we're human, we're programmed for everybody else first before ourselves until we're a certain part in. I would always say think of that other person, because when it's detached for other people, people tend to do it for their kids or for the partner until it comes back to you. But think of the respect you're maybe not having for that other person, or how much time from doing that you could be doing something better. But it's all down to boundaries, I think, and your own personal strength to say no. You might be doing it for other people's reasons and not your own. It's depends what it's for, but it's down to boundaries.
It's habits as well.
So you've got to swap that, haven't you? We've seen it, you've recognised it, now what are you going to replace it with or change it with?
Have something next to your bed. If it is in bed at night and that's the place where you lie down and you just scroll, I have mindful colouring. You can have that next to you. You could have a book next to you. The end goal is still the same. It's to free up your mind.
Yeah.
But just
start somewhere different
on what you want to do. Have some options available. If you're acknowledging is the first step,
swap it.
Make a conscious decision, because habits develop quickly. A negative habit can develop as quickly as a good habit. It's just you are in control of what choice you make.
And why the mind's not switching off may be another thing. Some people, that is very difficult.
Yeah.
Will get overwhelmed and emotional because they don't know what it's like to stop. Sometimes we have to get that mind to stop to see what it feels like to want to be back there. Some of them things is one of the reasons to do the regulation clinic, is to, you haven't felt that mind so quiet for such a long time, you also don't know what it feels like, so you'll keep feeding it. When it stops, you then realise how hectic it is. So it's one of them.
It's hard because we live in an industry where everything's phone based, like every last thing. And even the kids growing up nowadays, it's all phone based. It's all for everything. You want to go somewhere, Google Maps. If you think how many times you rely on your phone just to get from A to B, it's consuming. So
I know there is apps you can turn them on for a certain hour though, can't you? And you literally say, "Oh, don't go on." It sounds horrible. No one dies if you don't go on your phone.
Yeah.
And it's that reality. But you may lose relationships and you may lose yourself. So what is more important?
Yeah, it's that will of just
not that
turning it off. You're lying there and your brain's going, "Oh, I need to go to sleep now. I know I should turn it off."
Or have a little look.
Oh, what's that? And they're designed to do that. Like, you have to bear in mind, Instagram and other apps are designed to keep you hooked. But you have to just use, as hard as it is, use your thumb once, turn it off and put it down and try and relax. And then that will become a habit.
I think it's hard in business because you think you're letting people down, or you're not answering questions, or you're not getting back to people. But I will get back to you when I'm a better person for you, and it's not at that time at night. It's people go home, shut the door, they lock their work up because you're online. People think you're constantly available. You've gone home. If your cut off is 6 o'clock, it's cut off at 6 o'clock. You will be back online. If people can't wait for you and they're going to leave, they're not going to wait. They're not your people. They're not there for you. They're not your clients. They're not your people to work with. Let them go.
I had that.
Because they've got no respect for you, wanting you to message at that time.
Constantly on it. And then I wasn't being present either. That's one massive thing. I was missing out on conversations with my family because you can't, there is no way, you might look like you're doing it, but you're physically in another zone. So your senses are working overtime. You're missing important things. You're missing conversations. And then that's where things in your relationship. I told you that last week. No. I told you to grab that while you're out. No, you never. Yeah, it means you got obsessed. So it's about, but acknowledgement is the first place to start. And they're obviously acknowledging they are struggling and they've reached out for help. But I would try and, like you say, boundaries. Even at night time, turn it off an hour. just an hour.
No one's
earlier.
going anywhere. The
Yeah.
message will still be there. If that person's got a problem, they're not for you.
And then ask yourself,
just out.
what are you avoiding? Why do you need to relax? What are you not managing? You know,
Some people don't. They know they don't, but they actually don't want to sit with themselves and switch off either.
yeah, that's where it's the escapism.
Yeah.
It opens a whole can of worms. But yeah, the first thing is like acknowledging and boundaries.
Anything.
Definitely. So that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for everyone that's submitted all the questions. It's been lovely going through them. The links are in the bio. Just ask that if you have any questions or queries or anything pending, please follow them, submit them so we can talk about it on each week, and we'll get through as many as we can. But yeah, thank you and have a great week.
Just remember they are anonymous. You can put as many requests in as you want. If you want more detail on some of the ones you've already put in today and we haven't quite got to the point, send it again, a bit more detail, a bit more of the scenario, and we can take it from there.